Okay, so again, we are in the Garment District. I am here because, as you can see, there's lots of color for the annual summer arts program, and lots of filtered, beautiful pockets of filtered light that is bouncing around off of the huge glass buildings. So I am spending a bit here between 40th and 41st Street on Broadway, shooting some street for a bit. Yo, Craig. Hi, good to see you. Come back to New York, Craig. Hi, everybody. Okay, so we're going to try and get a good shot. As I was saying before Instagram dropped out, if I'm lucky, I get 2 of my coincidence shots a month. If I'm lucky. October? Oh, dude, Craig, let me know. I don't blame you. I'm so happy you're coming back. October is actually really great to shoot street in the city because of the weather. It's some of the most comfortable, best weather. That's going to be awesome. Cannot wait. Maybe a workshop is in order or something. Hi, being random. Anyhow, as I said, I'm lucky if I get 2 coincidences shots a month in the city because, first of all, they take forever, to make. The longest it's ever taken is 4 months. That was unusual. They don't usually take that long. And then also because I'm very strict. I have a very high bar. Hello there. I have a very high bar for what I let into this series, which I think has paid off. I think in a few of my recent talks, I've been lucky enough to do some presentations lately, some talks and workshops and classes lately, and I freaking love it. Oh my gosh, I hope I get to do some more soon. But in a few of my recent talks, hi Nicholas, in a few of my recent talks, I've mentioned the importance of being your own worst enemy when it comes to editing, and being able to kill your babies. You just have to, not literally, of course, kill your babies, but you have to disconnect emotionally from the work that you make when you're calling, and you have to be super strict and be your biggest critic. Don't keep anything that you wouldn't keep in your portfolio that you wouldn't want everyone in the world to see associated with your name. Okay, so what I'm going to do right now, I just saw something cool. It's neat. Unfortunately, my lens is too wide. There's this blue and white polka dot background, and that guy eating right there has a blue and white polka dot shirt. Now, what I don't like about this, as I said, is my lens is too wide. I'm using a 28 right now. Let's show you. Yeah, the video is shaky because I'm holding it. I don't have a gimbal. I'm using a 28 right now. This is a dope lens. This is MS Optical 28 per. So it's one of my favorites because look how small this shit is. Isn't it beautiful? It's perfect for street. The widest it goes is f4, which is totally fine for me. So anyway, let's go back to this shot, and I'm sorry for the shakiness. I'm not using a gimbal. So this guy is wearing blue and white polka dot shirt. You might not be able to see it. And the background is blue and white. And so first of all, it's way too wide. I can't get up there. But second of all, there is that really distracting text. Text and letters are my worst enemies. It is so distracting. I'm trying my hardest to hold the camera still right now. Text is so distracting for a viewer. I think it's been proven, though I don't have the actual stats, so maybe it hasn't. I think it's been shown that text is the first thing a person will look at in a photograph. It's the first thing a person's eye will go to. And it makes sense. I believe it, even though I can't prove it. But anyway, so I try to avoid text in my backgrounds as much as possible. Even cropping out around it, I do a lot. So that would render that background pretty much unusable for me. And then also his shirt isn't the right color of blue to line up. But, if I was bored and not getting anything else today, I might try to take it. I do have my 28, so I would have to get up super close. And I'm not the kind of person who is comfortable doing that, although maybe no one's comfortable doing that, but I will if it is an amazing shot. How close do I get to people when I'm shooting? It depends on which lens I am using. I mostly use 28, so I get pretty close. But also, on the other hand, my typical work are scenes rather than portraits. So it depends on the scene. Like for my Coincidences series, they're definitely not portraits. They're about the whole story rather than just the person. So I don't need to get super close with the 28. But in my other street work, I do try to get close, and I hate it. I don't know if anyone likes actually the act of getting close. Do any of you like getting close? Do you get a rush from it? I get anxiety from it. I will do it if the shot is absolutely like once in a freaking lifetime, but I don't like it. So yeah, I'm not the Bruce Gilden type. Sorry, I'm getting my camera ready because I'm gonna walk a little more while shooting. I'm using the M10 today because I want the speed. No, you don't like getting close, yeah. Hey everybody, I'm using the NT today because I need a lot of speed because I'm going to try and make a juxtaposition. And again, I'm using my MS Optical 28, one of my favorite lenses of all time. I highly recommend all of this Mr. Miyagi's lenses. So this is what I'm using right now. I'm going to work a little more on paying attention to the scene. Might not talk as much for the next few seconds. I'm going to see what we have going on now that I've introduced the video, and see if I can observe or anticipate anything worth sticking around for. This is what I usually do. So when I find a large scene like this, not a small element, I work with small elements like a specific part of an advertisement, but a large scene like this that has lots and lots of areas to work within, I pick a spot and I stand here like this and I observe just how the people are moving through it, what the light looks like, what the paths people are taking to walk, because that's very important. And if there's anything I'm missing anywhere in this scene. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm just scanning. I'm scanning and absorbing it all. It's almost like a meditation kind of a thing. So right now in this part of the scene, and full disclosure, I've been shooting this scene for about an hour now, and I feel like I've already gotten a few really good shots. So I might not be as excited as as motivated as I normally am when I first get to the scene, but I'm so excited. Do I shoot with my sunglasses on? Sometimes it depends. If the sun is really bright, I do. These are prescription, first of all, which help. But also I had a little bit of a issue with skin cancer a few years ago with melanoma, and the eyes are one of the worst places to get it again. So I need to be good about keeping my eyes covered in the bright sun. And it's not ideal because it does screw with the color of the scene. Like right now, I don't need to keep my glasses on. Hi Eric as well. How long at the most are you observing at the same spot? The most I've ever waited at a spot total is 4 months for one picture, and that picture is called Wall Street. It's the one with the dude in front of a billboard that has a rope being pulled by a bodybuilder and it's coming out of his head. That took 4 months. For this kind of a thing where I'm not actually shooting, where I'm just taking it all in and planning my strategy, this can take 20 minutes at most. Nothing immediately is sticking out right now because all of it is pretty interesting to me. Although one of the photos I got earlier, you'll see right here, is this woman eating on her phone in front of that great starburst kind of green shit. I love it. I hate the text again. I hate the text, but I got kind of close earlier and the light was actually better. So I'm confident that I might have gotten something. We'll see. I'm trying not to chimp today. Hi Luis. Do I ever have people who ask you to delete photos after you've taken of them? I've had it happen only once in my career. Isn't that crazy? I've been doing street specifically for almost 10 years, and I've been doing travel for about 12, and only once has it happened, and it was in Germany of all places. It was in Berlin, and it's too bad because the scene was freaking amazing. It was a group of rough and tumble dudes with tattoos working on a really cool car in great light. And I took a few, and a lot of them immediately came over to me, and I immediately did whatever they said because it felt tense, and it felt like it could explode. So right now I'm just taking some more shots to cover my ass of this scene with this lady right here. We'll see. Craig asks, which of your coincidences shots were just luck? I have one of a kid drawing on a window, and the advert for downsizing underneath saying miniature masterpiece was total luck. Isn't that just amazing when it works out that way and you stumble upon it? Sometimes those are the most cherished for me. I have a few that I just stumbled upon and got lucky. I have a few. Let me think. The Geisha one, which was shot right over here. The woman reading that book. The woman reading that book with the Geisha, that was something I stumbled right upon. And then a beauty advert from Sephora with a woman's arm wrapping around the advert. That one was another one that I stumbled upon. And that's how rare it is, because those are the only two that immediately come to mind. I'm going to turn it back on my face for a second while I answer some of these questions. So what's the difference between travel and street photography? And then Wowie says, travel is about the place. Street is about life in public. I think that's a good one. I think that's a really, really, really good distinction. Yeah, travel is all about the destination. All about the destination, which, street photography can also be about the destination. The definitions and borders aren't solid. They're porous. But yeah, travel is about the destination. When I was a travel photographer, my task was to tell the story of one of the cities or the countries that I visited in a series, rather than try to get it all in a single shot. And it was all with the impetus and the goal of informing our readers. So that is also a big distinction in my mind, because in my mind, and this isn't gospel, I'm not one of those gatekeepers who say you have to agree with my doctrine, but in my mind, street photography does not have to be about informing or passing on information to anybody. Okay, travel, yeah. JC, do you look at people after you've taken their photo or pass them over their shoulder, or keep the camera up to your face? That's a good one, because I do all of the above. It depends on the scene totally. I sometimes bring the camera up to my eye, depending on what angle or perspective I want to shoot at. I think most of the time, though, I shoot from the hip, and I try not to look at them. I try to be stealthy and keep it hidden, which doesn't always work. Okay, what's your definition of a street picture? That's $1 million question, isn't it? And we all have different answers, which I think is beautiful. That's one of the reasons I love street photography is it allows this big tent. It allows everyone to have their own interpretation, unlike other candid photography forms, which are understandably and necessarily more strict. My definition of a street picture is a photograph that tells a story about how life feels in the built environment. And I think I was very deliberate in that because I think it focuses more on emotion and concept. And yeah, exactly. Public and candid. Although I totally think that posed street photographs are definitely street photographs still. But what was I saying? Oh yeah, I think it focuses more on the emotion, which is why I said how life feels. And I think the built environment is probably the most important part. The built environment, because that can be, it's very important because street tells the story about humanity and the things humanity has built and accomplished and how we exist among our accomplishments. So yeah, that's my definition. But let me know everyone else's definitions too. Again, as I said, I'm one of the types of people who I don't think there is any right answer. With documentary photography and with reportage, yes, there has to be, understandably, very rigid restrictions. But with street, which is why I love it, we have a little more room for interpretation. Is that Park Avenue? No, I think, I'm sorry, this is Broadway. I'm on Broadway between 40th and 41st. In the Garment District, enjoying this new, really beautiful public art that they put up this summer. Sorry, Matthew, but a lot of street photographers have been taking portraits of stingers and call it street photo. Yeah, Broadway, thank you. It's about deception. Everyone is. That's fine. The viewer knows there's no shelf for turning the camera. That is the issue. Sent her a request. I disagree. I mean, my understanding is if it's about how life feels in the built environment, it's a street photo. That's mine. I'm not a strict person. Have you ever shot street in Asia? Highly, yes. Oh, dude, I've shot street in Bangkok. And around Thailand a bit. I freaking love it. I want to go back so bad. Bangkok is one of my favorite cities in the world, especially for street photography. And it was, when I went there, it was right kind of when I started really getting into street photography. So I was a novice, and still finding my way. So unfortunately, the work that I made in Bangkok is not like anything that I would consider good up to my caliber right now, which is unfortunate. So I really want to go back so bad and see the streets of Bangkok with my current eyes. I'm gonna go over here because there is sun over there and I want to see what the scene is like over there. So won't you walk with me? Hi from New York to Germany. I love Germany. Except, as I was explaining before, Germany is the only place that someone has ever asked me to delete a photo of them. That's okay, I still loved it. I got some of my best pictures in Germany. So I'm walking south on Broadway right now because the sun has found an opening over here. And there are fewer people, which might be, Midtown, might shoot there next week. A lot of tourists today. No, not at this time at 3:40. I'm kind of south of Times Square, so there doesn't seem to be a lot of tourists right now. And it's also 90 degrees out, so, only the hardcore are out. But it's mostly office workers having lunch and stuff. Gosh, I love this art. The Garment District is always, every summer they just cycle public art in and out, and it's treated me well so many times. I love it. So if you're ever in New York, if you're visiting New York, really give the Garment District in Midtown some time because it's just fantastic. Greetings from Argentina. Your pictures reflect that emotions about you were talking about. Oh, good. Thank you. No, that was perfect. I totally understood you. Thank you very much. Yeah, I think that's, to me, that is what one of the reasons that street is totally distinct from documentary and reportage is because relies on feeling and emotion. It relies on how things feel and perception. I want to go to Argentina so bad too. Gosh, Indonesia. I would love to go to Indonesia. I don't think there's really anywhere in the world that I wouldn't want to go and try to shoot street. I mean, maybe places that aren't too safe right now, but still. Hey, Venezuela. I want to go to Venezuela and shoot street as well. Gosh, you guys are all making me want to buy a ticket somewhere before my life is locked down in August. I like this guy and that woman with the umbrella right there. I love this woman with the umbrella. Let's go. So what I do, obviously, like most of you do, is just walk around to anticipate it, and that background is fabulous. Okay, all right. I loved that background and her outfit and that umbrella. That clean background right there is my kind of shit, you know? Easier to isolate the subject, obviously. Less distracting, tells a story. So yeah, we'll see how that came out. I'm trying my best. I'm really working on not chimping these days. So, which is really hard for me. I used to be a terrible chimper, and it would take up so much time from my from shooting, obviously. So I'm working on it. I think it was my New Year's resolution, and I'm just finally getting down to it and holding myself accountable. I assume you're zone focusing. Yeah, I am. That's what I do 90% of the time, I'd say. Zone focusing is the way to go for street. And yeah, it's hard to beat for street. Sorry, I'm so shaky. I'm not using a gimbal again, and I'm also trying to shoot. Yeah, especially with a 28 millimeter, zone focusing is, in my opinion, the easiest way to ensure you get the shot. If anyone here doesn't know what zone focusing is, it's basically, I like to set it to f8. Let's see if you can see this. F8, and then the distance, like I put it on 2 meters, right on 2 meters. That way, pretty much at f8, everything from, it'll show you on a good Leica lens or a good manual focus lens, it'll show you the distance of everything that will be in focus. And f8, when you put it centered on 2 meters, is pretty much almost everything that you can see. And then, so you don't have to think about it. You just pick up your camera and take the shot. It works well. Give it a shot. All right, thank you for doing this. Oh yes, no problem, my pleasure. I've been meaning to do this for a while. Life's been crazy. Life's been really crazy, and I'm so happy I finally got time to not only shoot some street, it's been a while, but to do this with you guys. I love it. I love this kind of stuff. Hi Hugh. Did the shot with the tree shadow work out when we met up? It's iffy, Craig. That shot is iffy. I have it in a collection of photos that I review like 2 months later, because I need some time. I need some separation from them to look at them with new eyes. And it's in that folder. Sorry, my hair is fucked. It's in that. I need a haircut. It's in that folder. I'm going to look at it again in a month. I wasn't sold on it when I first got it. Anyway, did you, Craig, get a shot from that scene? And then Hugh, do you use auto, ISO, or manual? It totally depends. On a day like today, when it's bright, I use auto because I trust, and it depends on the camera. I trust the camera. I trust my Leica, so I have it on auto right now. If the lighting is trickier, then I definitely do manual ISO. If you're not chimping, how do you know your exposure is right? Because I know. I mean, I'm wrong sometimes, but I use cameras that I know very well, that I know inside and out, that I could use in my sleep. So with that, I'm pretty confident that I get a good exposure. Also, in the daylight like this, I'm taking it off me. in the daylight like this, I can keep a lot of settings on ISO, and I trust the Leicas to work out the exposure pretty well. But also, you know, cameras these days, if your exposure is a little bit off, you can pull it up in post easily without a lot of loss of contrast or color. So it's not a big concern. What shutter and ISO do you typically use? Shutter, I typically hover around 500. That's my favorite for daytime. And I... No, it's okay. Thank you. I really appreciate that you like my work. Hope I'm not boring everyone with all this technical talk. Shutter, my favorite, my go-to is 500, and then my go-to for ISO is usually like 200 to 800. I'm cool with all that. Yeah, thank you guys for the compliments. I appreciate it. And been seeing you in the press lately. Glad you're getting good exposure. Amazing work. Thank you. That means a lot. I am having the time of my life. I am so scared that I'm going to wake up one day and it's all going to have been a dream because it's been, first of all, I haven't been getting a lot of sleep because I've been so busy. It's been a whirlwind year. So yeah, I'm just loving every second of it. I'm terrified I'm going to wake up and it's all going to be over, which is always a possibility. So I'm just trying to enjoy everything right now and not take it for granted and just be happy and say yes to as many things as I can and remember that it could all go away tomorrow. So thank you for that. Photos Mag, haha, sir, don't forget to keep Thank you so much. I am starting to get a dry mouth. I have a bottle of water in my backpack that I should probably take soon. In fact, yeah, that's a good idea. I might end this soon to get back to work and to not pass out or get heat stroke, which I almost did a few weeks ago when filming a documentary because I'm dedicated. I get into the zone. Do you guys get into the zone sometimes and just life evaporates all around you and you're just in the moment and you run into traffic or forget to drink water? That's what happens when you're in the zone. Or when you're doing Instagram live stream. That too. Okay, so I think that is a good moment to wrap this up and put my focus back on the streets. I'll take my glasses on and put them back on for someone who said that it was funny. So thank you all for doing this with me. Hope I answered your questions. Do you ever feel like a weirdo sitting on the street waiting for the moment? Yes, I feel like a weirdo all the time. All the time. I feel like such a creep, and it's hard to get over because I have an anxiety issue, but whatever, I love it too much. Thank you everyone for being here. I'm going to go shoot some pictures. Hopefully some of the ones that I take will be shared and good enough. And I'm going to get some water first of all. So have a great weekend, everyone. Shoot some street. I'm going to check your wall at street picture now. Yeah, check it out. Okay. Bye, guys. Peace.